Hi everyone, welcome to Prime Toy Masters. This week we're looking at the Flip Optimus Prime, and it is a very big toy. I really like it, and it has multiple points of articulation. Although if you're wondering why whenever I do the sound effects on this button, that's because I kind of got a faulty copy that it tends to cut off. So yeah, just for an example of that.
Nice work.
So yeah, it's meant to finish its sound effects and then it'll glow for a minute and then it'll be done. But mine doesn't work. And he has a few accessories. He has this cool Energon axe. Looks really nice. It's got this cool silver paint. So there's that. And he's got this shield, which has this cool Autobot symbol on the front. It's got these two lights. And it can also function as the top of the truck in vehicle mode. Last but not least, we have this big sword, which has golden paint on this side, but not on this side. But it's fine. I really like the look of this. The handle's a little stubby, but I mean, so long as he can hold it. Now looking more at the figure, he's got this really cool smokestacks. He's got the lights here that are also on the shield. And the instructions say for when he's in this form to keep his smokestacks down. I kind of like them up more just in general, but you can also just recreate some of the scenes in the movie whenever he flips them down and flies up with them, or kind of jumps and then glides. I don't know, but it's a very fun toy. Looking at the back, yeah. What's this? Oh, hi Optimus. And speaking of which, let's turn him into Optimus. So we're gonna grab his backpack. Make sure your hand is not in the way of any of this. Blah. Otherwise it won't transform. So we're gonna pull up on that. And he will cut off as usual. And then we're just gonna flip this little switch down. I'm just gonna press the button like this, and it will flip up. That's really cool. And he's so tall now that you can barely see the accessories down there. But yeah, he's got different sound effects, which, I mean, you can't hear. We can actually put the axe in his hand in this form. You can put it in his right hand. That doesn't really work because the instructions say to put it in his right hand, his left hand, and then turn his hand so then he can swing with it a little more like this. It's just better. I keep pressing the button accidentally, I'm sorry. But yeah, now let's get him into his ultimate form, which the whole kind of gimmick with this toy is that it's the Flip Optimus Prime, so you want to pull up his arms and then flip him, but it's just kind of hard on camera. So I'm not gonna do that. You can really just, yeah, he also has the Matrix you can put in here, but if you take it out, you can put it in his hand, actually. So we can just peg that in right there. If you look closely, he's got this little nub right here. Then that's where you plug the Matrix into. And he actually gets taller in this form. You can extend of the legs, which is really cool. And now he's even taller. He's huge. That's one thing I really like about this toy, is how big he is. That's really cool. And then he also has more sound effects, and the light in this form, it's not just blue, it's actually got purple and blue in that. So if it shines for long enough, we could see that. So as you can see, it's a little different. But anyway, let's get the Matrix out of his hand and give him some of his other weapons. So we can grab his shield and it actually can store on his back. And then he's also got these other tabs right here that you can store his other weapons, like the sword, if you want. And then if we take that off, you can weapon him up. So you can put there's the port right here, and you can put it in his hand here, but I prefer definitely just sliding it onto his arm. There we go. I had trouble finding the slot. And then we also got this sword which he can hold. And then he's ready for battle against Megatron. So if he needs to, he can block any attacks, and he can also fight back, which is really cool. And now let's get him into his vehicle mode, which you actually have to get him back into Orion Pax form. So we're gonna take out his shield and his sword, and then you just kind of get him back, unextend the legs, so now he's short. And then we're gonna fold up his those two sides. Then we're gonna flip all the way around, make sure this isn't down, make sure it's nice and up, and then it will peg in. And then we're gonna take this, push it down, and then we can push the whole assembly. Now he's back into Orion Pax. So now you can angle the camera down again. And now let's get him into his vehicle mode, which he also makes a transforming sound, which is pretty cool, so we can kind of move his arms. We're gonna wanna untab right there. And it would make the transforming sound, but I cut off, of course. This is coming undone. And then we're gonna wanna flip his legs around like this and like this. We can also put his axe in right now. So we're gonna put it on these two tabs, which, if we look at the axe here, the tabs are right here. And we're just gonna peg it in like this, like this. Then we can kind of make sure this is nice and flush and just push together. And then this little hook right here is gonna hook into this weird little tab back here. And it's hard to show on camera because of his backpack, but really just get it tapped down there. And now getting to the tricky part. We're gonna need to grab this and kind of grab by the wheel here and untab it like that. And then we can also pull that out. It's because it's on a double hinge here. So then we can do the same for this side. This is a bit tricky. Oops. Stay. Now we're gonna want to rotate his arms in so this little nub is facing out. Now we can lower this down. And this is a tricky part. We're gonna want this tab to peg into that slot right there. And that is easier said than done. I've gotten used to it, but getting these arms in their spots, definitely hard. Get this angled, make sure this nub is facing out. That. Get that in. Go. There's also a set of tabs right here, if you can see that. Right here, and it's going to that slot, but really it doesn't really go in that easily, so I said that's it. So the whole transformation is done, so yeah, but now we need the shield to come into play here. So we can just push that on the top, and there it is. And then you can also put the sword. You can really just tap it in on either side. We're gonna go on this side. We can tab that on. And there he is in his truck mode. It's really cool. I actually really like it. I'm surprised that it can even do the truck mode, considering how many transformations it can do. But yeah, it's very cool. And then with his smokestacks, are they smokestacks anymore? Because usually they go up here, whatever. They can actually shoot and just with the Decepticons, or they can flip around and he can boost along that. And he rolls. They're gonna do a roll test every video. He rolls very nicely. I really am digging that. He also has different sound effects if they look up. That doesn't really stay on that well, but we can click the button. But yeah, it cuts off, of course, but you know, is what it is. Overall, the powerful Flip Optimus Prime is an amazing toy. I love that he has 4 different forms. It's really fun. My only problem is that his sound effects don't work. But I mean, you probably won't get a version like this if you get it. Can't guarantee that it won't though, so yeah. It's probably just a little design flaw to otherwise an amazing toy. That concludes this video. Be sure to tune back in next Friday for our next video.